Greetings, Docker community. My name is Lorenzo Costa. Let me start by sharing my screen. Are you guys seeing me, right? Okay. Uh, Give me just a second. So, my name is Lorenzo Costa. Here's how you can find me online. I'm available under Costa86, except for Twitter, which is Costa86 Squid. So, today I thought I would show you guys a fun use case of Docker in which we will build an API for the TV show Game of Thrones. That API will be made available on a public remote server, a virtual machine. And at the end of the session, there will be like an interactive part in which you guys will be able to participate, actually. Uh, you will be able to express your love for Game of Thrones, especially the last episode. So you will be able to send requests to the API, comments about the last episode of Game of Thrones, and I'll be live streaming your comments. Okay, so I do look forward to that last part. It's going to be fun. So here's a little sequence diagram of what we will be doing. Step one is we'll create the remote server, but instead of using the host will live on DigitalOcean, but instead of manually creating the server, we'll be using Terraform to do so. So let's do this now. Okay. Um, Guys, is the size okay? My prompt? Okay. So here's our starting point, right? Which is a Terraform project. Let me make sure everything is fine with Terraform. It is. So the command is Terraform apply. And you'll see right here, yes, on DigitalOcean, you'll see a new server popping up here. So there it is, server A. In the meantime, let me show you the Terraform project. We have basically one provider, right, which is DigitalOcean, and we are using one resource, which is SSH, which is pretty cool because once the server is created, we will be able to SSH into that new server using SSH key, right? This is the name of the server, server A, and that in variables, this is the name of the key, the path of the SSH key that we will use to access the remote server. Okay, so it is here. The machine has been created. So let's SSH into it. SSH path key. Use the initial user's root and the server IP address. Yes, and we are connected to server A. All right. So next step is actually let me share with you guys the repository. All right. It's in the chat. Okay, this is the repository. And we have this file here, start. Create a file on the new server. We'll paste all these commands. Let me explain what we are going to do, right? We will install Docker, update first, and install Docker and fish, which is a shell that I like to use. It's just a personal preference. Then, instead of using the regular Docker dash compose, we will be using the new Docker Compose v2 plugin. The command now is docker space compose. It is a plugin. Here's how you can install it. I do recommend using it if you guys are not using it yet. Basically, instead of the old Docker Compose, which is built using Python, this new one is built using Golang. So it's a little bit faster. Uh, and it has some nice features, including the profile, as you can see here. I will show you guys in a minute what the profile does, but it's a really nice feature. And after downloading and installing the Compose v2, we will clone the repository, start Docker Compose, and then start the shell bash, right? Basically, what we are doing here is the remaining steps. Okay, we are creating the machine. We just created the machine. We will clone the repository. Then we will start Docker. Docker will start. It will trigger the API. And then the API will be available on the new remote machine. Okay, it's still running. In the meantime, let me show you guys the Docker file. The Docker file is pretty basic, right? We are using Alpine. Oh, it's finished. So what I like to invite you guys to do is one thing. Could you guys visit this address and make sure everything is working? Go to this address on port 5000. Anybody check? Perfect. All right, so we have an empty page, right? So what we are going to do now is populate the database. So we have a last command, which is this one here. Thank you guys for participating. So this last command will access the, the Mongo container and we'll use the JSON file. The JSON file is this one. That's the JSON file where the episodes live. Right? It's basically a JSON file. All the episodes are here. Okay. So let me run the last command. So yeah, as you can see, 73 documents. Each document represents one episode. So if you guys refresh that page, now we have all the episodes. Okay. So the project is working, right? It's here. The API is living. It's alive. So now the fun starts. Okay. As I just said, there is an interactive part, and it starts now. Actually, that's not the GIF that I wanted to use. It's this one. Okay. I think it's more suitable to the theme, right? So this is a link to API documentation on Postman, in which I will ask you guys to visit. Let me share let me share with you the link. Okay. Could you guys visit this address? Actually, I do need to fix to update the IP address. Just give me a moment. Because now we are using this address. So just update this variable. Oh, yeah, okay. Guys, please make sure if you visit this address, right, the API link, the API doc link, please make sure you have this address, right, 164.90.229.66. Okay, please make sure that's the correct address. Do you guys have this one? Just in case, I'll paste a new URL. Okay, so if you guys use Postman, okay, just this button and this page will open on Postman, and you will have something like this. You have a collection just like this. Okay, if you guys don't use Postman, I do have an alternative, which is a Python script. Okay, it's here. Let me share with you guys the script. It's this one. If you guys want to use the script, just make sure you update, you replace the base URL with this, one here, okay, the server IP address, and update the last episode ID, which is just this one here, okay? So here's what we're going to do. Let me get the IP address, the episode address, the episode ID. I will, there is this endpoint here called get comments for an episode, right? So if I run it, nothing, right? Now I have this endpoint called add comments to episode. In the body, I will place the ID of the episode and comment, right? Posted. Now if I run back, if I run again the same endpoint for to get episodes, to get comments for an episode, here, right? So here's the exercise I'll ask you guys to do. Visit this endpoint, right, and start sending requests for new comments, and I will live stream your comments right here. Who wants to start? Oh, curl works as well. Yeah. Let us see who will post the first comment. We have the first one, Garbo. So yes, as you can see, it is working. Come on, guys, let's write something more meaningful. Show how much you loved the last episode of Game of Thrones. In the meantime, if you guys want to ask questions, that would be that would be fine. A little bit about the stack for the API. We are using. Actually, I forgot to mention that we are using Flask. It's an API built using Flask, and the database is used is MongoDB. There is one more thing that I forgot to talk about regarding Docker Compose. We talked about this new feature, right? Which is called profile, right? This one, profile basic. If we go to Docker Compose, we have three containers, right? Three services. We have Flask, Mongo, and Mongo Express. Now we have this new attribute called profile. If I use the profile basic, when I start Docker Compose, I will run Flask and Mongo. But if I want to run the Mongo Express, I need to set the profile admin, right? So it's a really cool feature in case you guys want to use, you want to select specific services that you want to use on a Docker Compose instead of running all of them, right? So it's a really nice feature added on the new Docker Compose v2. No more comments. All right. Is anything else you guys want to know about the project itself? I mean, I already shared with you the repository, the API. Oh, someone haven't watched it. Oh yeah, okay, that works. So guys, as I was saying, this is a fun use case of Docker, but it actually showcases how easy it is for you to have an actual API running on a cloud server, right? Which with just a basic some basic commands, especially if you are using Terraform, which makes it even easier to create services, to create machines on those cloud providers. The one we used was DigitalOcean. But yeah, you can make several different kinds of APIs. This is just a quick example. So yes, so I guess this is it for our session. If you guys don't have any more questions, I guess we can finish here. The function of Terraform is it's called infrastructure as code, the name of the technology itself. Uh, I could go over to Terraform, right, and create a new droplet, which is how they call the service. But I don't want to use it. I do not want to manually go to the website and create a new server. So we have this tool called Terraform, which does this automatically. We can instantiate new servers, uh, delete them as well. We can, let's say, for instance, um, this is running on Ubuntu, right? This is a Ubuntu 1 giga CPU and 25 giga disks. Let's say that I want a better machine, right? Now I want the server to be 4 CPUs. I can just change that using Terraform with a single command. So basically, it's create and update and maintain infrastructure on cloud services, on cloud providers. We can use Terraform for DigitalOcean, for AWS, for Google, uh, the Microsoft services as well. So yeah, it's a really nice tool to be used with Docker. Did I answer your question, Josh? Any resources on learning more regarding Terraform? Actually, the documentation that is well written, and Terraform is it's very well documented. They have a bunch of examples, a lot of use cases. So that's a great starting point. Their documentation. One, yeah, I mean, instead of using Terraform, there is Ansible as well, which is a tool kind of similar, very similar to Terraform. It does some of the things, but I don't know if you heard of it, Terraform, Ansible. It's used to manage multiple services. Let's say that I want to execute a single command on multiple machines. I can use Ansible for that, even if those machines are not on cloud providers. So it's a little more generic tool, but it kind of looks like Terraform. And the third option would be manually going to the website, going to, in our case, DigitalOcean website. Yeah. Puppet. I'm not very familiar with Puppet, but yeah, I think it's similar to Ansible, but I'm not sure. I might be wrong. Let's see. We have if we have new episodes, new comments. No. Okay, guys, you don't want to participate. But thank you, guys. Thank you for writing some comments. That's really fun. Yeah, Puppet. Yeah. Actually, if you're using AWS, you can do even more with Terraform. We use a pretty basic example. We just created Terraform to instantiate a new server. If we're talking about AWS, you can, for instance, create networks. You can create databases. Basically, all the servers that that are available on AWS that you can do that you do usually by hand on the website. You can manage those using Terraform. You can create databases, delete them as well, and all the remaining servers that they have available. So a little overview about the API. Now we have, for instance, we have new other endpoints. We have this one. We can get episodes by rating, right? So we have here all the episodes with rating above 9.5 for season 3. We can do that using our API. If I don't want to specify a season, that works too. We have 14 episodes with rating above 9.5, right? We can, for instance, get details for an episode. Okay. Add comments, we already saw this one. Get comments. Have a new one. Yeah. That was really fun. You can delete a comment, right? I won't be doing this, but you can. You can edit a comment. And that's pretty much it regarding the endpoints. Let me show you briefly I don't know how much time we have available, but yeah, let me just quickly show you guys the API itself. That's this one, just a basic Flask application with some routes. The routes are mapped to the endpoints. Okay, but you guys have the source code, so you can clone it and play around with it. All right. So guys, thank you. We have time. All right. So guys, if you have any more questions, I mean, my presentation is, I think what I wanted to show you guys is that. Add, get comments for an episode. For, if you have questions, please write them down. Let me see what else I can show you guys. Oh, are you guys already using the new Docker Compose by any chance? Sure does. Let me share with you, Josh. Compose V2. Actually, you can replace the new with the you can replace the old one with the new one. So guys, let me show you guys one more thing. This is the remote server, right? Have some aliases. I'm lazy, so I like to use aliases for Docker. So VLC is list the containers, right? You can see we have two containers running, but remember we talked about the profile, right? We have the compose. We have three services, but we are using only two, right? We are using only Flask and Mongo because we use the profile basic, right? So this is the profile part, the profile feature of Docker Compose v2 in action, right? You can also do Docker info. You can see on the client, the plugin, right? The Docker Compose v2 is now a plugin. So you can see it right here. Okay. Okay, guys. So thank you guys for the time and see you next time.